Hello, everyone. Good to have you here. It's Tuesday, 7:15 in Ireland, and it's time to learn more about spiritism and get together here. And as usual, I would like to open the bridge between Ireland and USA. I would like to welcome all listeners from the Kardec Radio. So thank you for joining us. I don't know if you are driving and listening us or if you are watching on YouTube or Facebook channel. So be welcome. And today we do have a special guest, Maria Paula. She's a nutritionist and she's part of the Blossom Spiritist group in Wokingham in the UK. And today's topic is nourishing the being. Well,
the reincarnated being.
The reincarnated being. I forgot that. Nourishing the reincarnated being. Yeah. So Maria Paula gonna give us some good advices and tips and knowledge how we need to nourishing our soul and our body as well. So thank you very much for this time. And in order to start, I would like to do an initial prayer. So let's close our eyes if you want to. Please, if you're driving, don't close your eyes. But open up your heart, raise up your thoughts. Let's make connection with superior spirits, with our mentors. Ask them to send over us a light that will calm us down. We involve our speaker today. We give to Maria Paula all the tools that she needs in order to share with us her knowledge and her time. Thank you so much. Okay, Maria Paula, first of all, thank you very much for your time. I know Maria Paula has a very busy schedule. So welcome, Maria Paula.
Thank you very much. I would like to thank you, the Spiritist Society of Ireland, for the invitation, and I would like to say hello and welcome to everyone. Today we are going to talk about nourishing the reincarnated being, and I would like to talk about nutrition for body, mind, and emotions. I am a nutritionist, and it's the practice I try to run in the clinic because we are whole beings and we need to nourish our whole bodies. The integrative concept of health. We are going to start talking about philosophy and Kardec in the beginning. The Gospel according to Spiritism, in the chapter 17, item 11, the Spiritist George, a protecting spirit, said to us, "So then, love your soul and also look after your body, which is the instrument of the soul. To pay no attention to these needs, which nature itself indicates, is to ignore God's laws. Then it's very important to pay attention about body and mind together." Baruch Spinoza, a Dutch philosopher in the 17th century, told us there is no supremacy of mind over body. That is, that man is a whole, formed of mind and body, that together they share the interest in divine existence and the maintenance of life. Through a relationship of affection that extrapolates to the world. The epistemological basis of his philosophy lead to an ethics, where to live well and be happy means to live according to nature, which he associates with God. What is health? What is health for you? Let's think about in some minutes, in some seconds, what is health for you? When I ask this question, what comes to your mind? Okay, according to the World Health Organization, health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. This definition is from 1948. It's over 70 years old. And we are still connected with the physical definition of health. When you go to the medicine, to the doctors, to see doctors, we are still worried about physical parameters like blood pressure, high sugar level or normal sugar level, high cholesterol or normal cholesterol. And we forget that if we do not forgive, if we are not connected with others, with nature, if we don't have meaning in life, we are going to be ill as well. Then this dimension of health is not just physical. In the last, I would say 20, 25 years, this definition is planned to be amplified by some researchers. They would like to include as well environmental and spiritual in this definition, not just physical, mental, and social. And incredibly, Hippocrates, the father of medicine, more than 2,400 years ago, was using this definition of physical, mental, social, environmental, and spiritual as well to define health. For him, health is similarly defined on the basis of an equilibrium achieved between environmental forces and individual habits. The internal equilibrium depends on the external equilibrium between a person and his or her environment. Incredibly, he was defining or forecasting the epigenetic sciences that came to us in the beginning of the 21st century that we are going to discuss later in this presentation. Sorry, I have some water, sorry. Thank you. Health is an integrative concept. We are holistic beings, and everything, every factor that influences our biological dimension influences also our psychological, social, spiritual, and also environmental. Then thinking about, for example, what we are going to discuss today, nutrition. If we have a good nutrition, it influences physiological body or biological body, psychological as well, because we are going to see that nutrition is very important for brain as well, in our expression of the mind through the brain, that's the physical organ. It's important for social as well, spiritual and environmental. And the same can be translated when you talk about sleep for all our dimensions, lifestyle, emotions and thoughts, stress, pollution, relationships, and illness, to say some examples. Let's reflect a bit about the world health crisis. Unfortunately, the forecasts, the statistics forecasts sadly increase in diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, depression, cancer, degenerative diseases, autoimmune diseases, allergies, anxiety, to say some. They are considered non-communicable diseases or lifestyle diseases. And my question to you to reflect today is why we are facing this sad statistics increasing in non-communicable diseases. If the human being is a perfect system, we have abundance of therapeutic resources, we have efficient food supply system, and we have efficient medical techniques. And why we are facing these sad statistics? What do you think? The human evolution, we can think about some disconnections over it. We can see the first picture related to diet. We evolved and We now face artificial nutrition to our body, and because of these, we are very ill, or we are facing sad statistics. And we also are disconnected from ourselves to lots of stress that plays a very, very important role in our physical and emotional dimension, and consequently, spiritual as well. Understand the role of nutrition, physical nutrition, like food, to the 5 dimensions according to the definition of health. We can easily understand that the food we eat affects our physical health through the life cycles, because different times in life, pregnancy, young baby, toddler, adolescent, child, adult, or elderly, we have different nutritional demands. We can also connect food with mental health, because our brain needs to be fed as well. We need the production of neurotransmitters and hormones that depends on food we eat. We have minerals, vitamins, and cofactors for some mental performance, learning process, memory, moods, and everything. And we need food for our social dimension, because we are connected through the food we eat. Environment reasons as well, environment dimensions, because the way we eat, the food we choose to eat, has an impact on the environment. And the food we eat also interferes in the environment of our home and how we react, because some kinds of food makes us more anxious or more depressed or with mood swings. It's in a science called nutritional psychiatry. It's very common nowadays. It was developed from the beginning of the century as well, and lots of mental diseases are being helped with the collaboration of good nutrition. And it's very easy to understand also the impact of food in our spiritual dimension, because the foods we eat also interferes the way we express ourselves, the way we interact with others, and with the divine as well, because it affects our body and our mind. If you do the same thought, the same way of thinking in relation to food, but not physical now, the food for the soul, like meditation, prayers, uplifting books, podcasts, videos, meetings or study groups, uplifting music or art, we can also see the relationship with our physical, mental, social, environmental, and spiritual dimension. This kind of exercise is just to make us aware about the importance of the food for our dimensions, of our dimensions that we have. In this slide, what is health according to Spiritism? The book, The Comforter, coincidentally or not, wrote in 1948 as well, it was written in 1948. Health is the perfect harmony of the soul, according to Spiritism, for which many times there is need for the precious contribution of the inconvenience and temporary deficiency in the earth. The thick body reflects the inner panorama of the ill spirit. The pathogenesis is a set of inferiorities of the psychic apparatus. Having harmony of the soul is living according to the law of love, beauty, and goodness. It's essential to care for our physical, mental, and spiritual bodies. Allan Kardec, in the book Genesis, chapter 11, item 24, says, the obligation for the incarnate spirit to provide the nourishment of his body, his security, and his well-being compels him to apply his faculties in the pursuit of exercising and developing them. Its union with matter is therefore useful for its advance. That is why incarnation is a necessity. And once incarnated, we have to feed all our dimensions. Then, according to the perspective of health, we are what we eat and drink, how we sleep, because it depends on hormone and neurotransmitters produced and the rest process to be healthy, how we exercise as well, how we feel and how we think in a positive or negative way. We are seeing this according to a specific size in some slides in front later in this presentation. And everything is influenced by the environment we are in. The human being is tridimensional. Let's try to understand this concept. Building integral health is taking care of our multiple dimensions. It means physical, energetic, and mental, and spiritual body. The fact of admitting the existence of non-measurable energy components in humans allows the study of a portion of us that exists in a different dimension, different from the physical, from the one explored so far, and it's called transdimensional physiology. The transdimensional physiology that we are going to discuss now is this branch of physiology must establish the system and mechanisms that relate the well-known physical man and the ethereal man, first by describing their relationship structure, the transdimensional anatomy, and then understand their function. Now we are going to think about and try to understand this connection about the physical and the ethereal man. When we study human physiology, we understand the mechanisms that generate diseases, or the pathophysiology. However, when we study transdimensional physiology, we understand transdimensional pathophysiology. That means primary causes of human diseases and afflictions. That is the same that the imbalance of the eye and the disease of the soul. That is very well explained by the books of Joanna de Angelis, because it's related to our psychological side. Is the conflict or imbalance of the eye. How do we get ill according to this transdimensional being? To understand our transdimensional being, how do we get ill? Let's try to understand the relationship between emotions, thoughts, and health. First of all, it's necessary to understand the concept of integral health as a downward causation, which starts at the mental level, conscious or immaterial essence or spirit, passes to an energetic level, that is biological organizing model or biomorphic field, and from there to the organic level. In other words, it is the thought, that is electromagnetic waves, produced by the spirit or the conscience, and directly influenced by its emotions, which generates a fluidic field that passes to the energetic bodies commanded by the coronary center, and from there to the physical body, through the brain, especially through the pineal gland and cortex. These fluids influences the network of communication and regulation of the organism, leading to equilibrium, health, or disequilibrium, or imbalance, that is illness, at the biochemical and physiological level. Then this picture illustrates very well. For the ones that can see the picture, is easy to understand. It means the disease or the thoughts and emotions that comes from the spirit, it has a downward causation that goes, the energy, the vibration goes to an energetic level, and then to the functional level, and then to the organic level. But everything starts in the spirit, according to its thoughts and feelings. Now, my question to you is there any science reinforcing the importance of nutrition for body, mind, and emotions to explain health and disease? Can you think about any science that can prove or can corroborate with what I'm saying to you now? Yes, we can think some of them, but I will talk to you about epigenetics first. In epigenetics is the science that tells us that it's not the biology that coordinates our genes, or our genes is coordinated or is controlled by the environment, okay? Genes load the gun, lifestyle pulls the trigger. According to the lifestyle, according to diet, disease exposure, toxic chemical environment, drugs of abuse, financial status, gut microbiome, drugs, or social interactions, we can have expression or silence of our genes. It means that lifestyle is very important. Most of the disease depends on genes, but the genes can be silenced or expressed according to the way we live. And this is what epigenetics comes to tell us. And according to epigenetics, we were empowered a lot because it's our responsibility to express or silence our genes. It's not a causality. It's not a casualty, it's a causality, sorry. And we have the nutrigenomics that tells us about the importance of nutrition for this expression or silence of the genes. To understand a bit more about epigenetics, it comes after the Human Genome Project in the year 2003. It comes to be revealed. And who controls our biology is the environment, not the genes. Lots of studies using genes revealed that factors that may potentially change our gene expressions are nutrition, lifestyle, environment, and social factors. It was very important because we can have the same genes, of course, our code is not being changed. Let's think like a book, like Romeo and Juliet book. Doesn't matter where you have this book in different parts of the world, the code is the same, but it can be expressed in a different way if it's played in the cinema by Leonardo DiCaprio, or if it's played by in the cinema but for kids, as Romeo and Juliet we had for kids. Then the code, the story is the same, but the expression of this is different. Then this is genetic and epigenetics. Other example is, for example, the Ninth Symphony of Beethoven. The code is the same, but if I play the song in the violin, in the piano, or with the whole orchestra, the expression of the code is different. Another science that can tells about the importance of body, mind, and emotions to explain health and disease is psychoneuroimmunology. That is the conversation between the nervous system, the endocrine system, and the immune system. It tells us that the psyche is also the primary source of endogenous pharmacological resources, capable of healing or minimizing the suffering of the physical body. This way, it's possible through certain therapeutical techniques to learn the alchemy of well-being. And through thoughts and feelings, we can modify the activity of our biology and our perception of disease. Sorry. The nutrition for the transdimensional being, when we are incarnate, we have to consider that we are spirit, perispirit, vital body, and physical body. When are disincarnate, we just have spirit and perispirit. And the perispirit plays an important function to understand disease. Perispirit, also called the biological organizer model. The knowledge of the perispirit is the key to a host of physiological and physical problems until now explained. When medical science considers the influence of the spiritual element in the fabric of beings, they will have taken a great step, and completely new horizons will open for them. It is in Allan Kardec, the Medium's book. The perispirit shapes the physical body in the new incarnation. Then, according to the life I'm living now, according to my lifestyle, the sympathy with life related or advised by Hippocrates and also Barish of Spinoza, the way we are living now, we are preparing our next life because we are affecting our perispirit or the biological organizer model. It are types, sensations, emotions, and occurrences. Then I will transmit for my next life things and impressions and the lifestyle I'm having now. It goes on acting like the shape of the future physical body, based on past life experiences and what the individual needs to evolve. Then it's a kind of register in our perispirit for future life. It modulates the future life. The root for well-being is to feed body, mind, and emotions. Then a very good nutrition connected with real food, not artificial nutrition. Colorful food that brings lots of nutrients, antioxidant compounds, anti-inflammatory compounds. Then real food means anti-inflammatory lifestyle. Good night of sleep, good thoughts, good relationships, exercise, and good meaning, connections, interactions with others. It's what we need to have health and good quality lifestyle. It's what I have prepared to you. I know it's quite complex to understand our all dimensions. I would like to thank you for your attention, and I would like to wish you plenty of nutrients for your whole self. Not just physical nutrients, not just real food, but food for your mind and emotions as well. And here are the reference I have used to prepare this talking to you. Thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you, Maria Paula. It's just such, I would say, complex. Yeah, I would say it's so many things you need to do, so many things you need to think. Because some people say, "Oh, I'm eating fruit." Okay, fruits. It's, let's say, 1/3, 1/10 of all these things. Because doesn't matter if you eat good food, but your life it's so a mess. Like you are not organized, so it's not balanced.
Yes, I used to say, Stefan, that health is like a puzzle and we need different pieces to have this good picture or bad picture. Food is important, but exercising, sleeping well, good connections in life, relationship, the way I serve in life is very important. If I feel connected with the environment, with others, Then in the clinic, I propose my clients to feel reconnected. The name of the clinic is Reconnection, and I propose a reconnection with yourself, with the nature. That means good food, good sleep, and also with the others. That means good relationship and meaning in life. If you are just taking care of one of these dimensions, we are going to be ill, unfortunately. Yes, it's a complex work. I understand. It's not so simple.
Yeah, and by the way, if you have any question, please write it down, and we're gonna ask it to Maria Paula. Okay. And how it's your view about what we are going now? Because I never heard talking about immunology system like
Yes,
we are talking
immunity.
now.
Yes.
No?
Well, I think one of these coronavirus, let's say, takeaway after this crisis, after this pandemic, I think an important message is take care of yourself. And we are going to be much more aware about the importance of nutrition for immunity, but also all the things I have mentioned. We have to pay attention about our sleep quality. We are working so hard and we don't have time for things that are real important to us, like family time, quality of relationships. I think we're going to reveal all of this lifestyle we are in before. And now we have to pay attention more about, because we never know when we're going to need a very, very strong immune system. And food is important, sleep is important, quality of relationship, spirituality is so important, because it can be understood as the capacity or the ability to accept things in life. It is related to our ability of resilience, of sharing when we don't have enough, or sharing when we have more than the others that don't have enough. We are seeing people more aware about neighbors, about other friends, and I think there is a positive and beautiful message behind this pandemic, and all the situation. I think we are being more aware of our lifestyle.
Yeah, I would say perhaps one of the beautiful things has happened to us. We are having the family dinner or family lunch. Everybody's sitting on the table.
Yes.
Together.
Yes.
We're not talking about the quality of food, but just this connection, everybody together.
And as we saw,
it's a plus, you know?
Yes. And as we saw in the presentation, the well-being, the life quality, or the guarantee for health starts in this level. Connections. This is the primary food. Food for body is secondary. Do you understand me? It's so important because we are body as well, because we are incarnated. But this connection is primary food.
Yeah. So when you put it this like family, do a prayer before you start to eat. Talking, get rid of iPhones, phones, games, whatever, you know, and look at people's eyes and having a good discussion. It's part of it's part of everything.
Yes.
But my one good question here, Elsa is saying to us like this: today the food passed through hands to hands. That energy we impregnate in our products before come to our table. So pray before cook, prepare it and eat it. It's a good way to eat healthier, isn't it?
Yes, sure, because the energy also counts a lot. Okay. Yeah. It depends on your energy as well, because when you consider that you're having a very healthy food and you are in connection with this, you are in gratitude for that, everything will be fine and you are going to receive the good things. But definitely a good prayer before eating can change all the chemistry in the body. As we saw, according to thought and feelings, we change. This is what psychoneuroimmunology, or PNI, to make it shorter, tells to us that according to our thoughts and feelings, we can affect the chemistry in the body. Then, of course, I pray before eating. It's very well to prepare our body chemistry for a good digestion, for a good absorption, and to metabolize well the food.
Yeah, and also at the same time, the relationship in which perhaps for couples you can have your arguments, you don't agree every time, but before sleep, reconcile yourself.
Yeah, it's amazing practices like meditation, prayers, and well, we have the recommendations of St. Louis to review your day before. It's an opportunity of self-knowledge and self-discovery when you repass your day and you think about your attitudes and you prepare for the next day, because knowing yourself is the only way you can change and you can transform. Self-discovery. And food, the diet, the physical food is also a way of self-knowledge and self-discovery. How you eat, when you eat, and what you eat. If you chew properly your food, if you are connected with real or artificial food, it interferes in your brain response. Then you think better when you eat real food. When you chew properly, because you have better digestion and absorption response. As we are incarnated, we depend on nutrients to survive. And I would say that each cell in our body depends around 45 nutrients on average to work properly. If you are not eating the real food, you are not working properly. You're going to get ill.
And your body try to compensate, and the compensation cause disease.
Yes, of course, the imbalance.
Yeah.
Yes. The body tries to maintain the homeostasis, but for how long? Until we have the first symptoms. Yes, you're right.
Yeah. And let's say I have heard like someone say to you, "Oh, but I'm eating fruits, a lot of fruits." But at the same time, okay, you are eating fruit, but how you are treating your neighbor, how you are treating someone.
Yes.
Because are you eat while you are in a discussion, while you are under an argument with someone?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
No. So we need to stop to do like 10,000 things at the same time and try to concentrate in what we are doing, because this is not just for nutrition or well-being. This is for life. When okay, I'm eating now, let me eat.
Yes, it's not just physical nutrition.
No,
emotional, spiritual, it's everything connected. This is a very good example that we cannot think in parts. We are whole beings, and to be healthy, we need all these dimensions very well fed, very well fed. Do you understand me?
Yeah. So
it's not just the body. Yes, we have lots of examples of fitness people. They eat well and they exercise very well, but they have an empty life. They do not have a spirituality and they feel depressed. Lots of models that eat well, but they are depressed, or they are very anxious, or they are not happy with the life they are living, despite a wonderful and beautiful body. Do you understand me?
Yeah.
And it's a combination of factors. It's not just nutrition for physical, it's nutrition for body and emotions as well. And we need to feed our whole dimensions, all our integrity dimensions.
Yeah. And do you think this generation, like our kids' generation, uh, will they have more balance in their habits going forward or not?
I think, good question. I just see this possibility if we return with the connection with family. Because once we have missed this connection, for me, is the explanation of why the society is so disrupted or so dangerous nowadays, when we see lots of depression, anxiety, and suicide and everything. I think we need to recover the connection with family, meal times together, real food prepared at home, everyone collaborating. Then after connecting with this family style, we can, let's say, recover the way of living for the new generation. We need more connections in conversation. We need to understand who they are, our kids, our teenagers. Because with the modern lifestyle, just clicking or just connecting artificially, we also have artificial nutrition, we have artificial family, we have artificial lifestyle, and artificial relationships. We can delete everyone that disturbs or do not agree with us. I think everything will be recovered when we recover the family role in our society. We should be looking in our eyes again. We should be eating together, preparing food together, talking about life and emotions, because most people nowadays, they don't know their teenagers, they don't know their kids. And for lots of family, this quarantine or this period of isolation is being so depressive, because we need to stay with people we don't know. And we are now seeing things that we could escape of seeing. Do you understand me?
Mm-hmm.
Justifying by hard hours of work or busy times. And now we have the opportunity. And I see this as another positive things from this pandemic thing. I think it's time to look at our family a lot and recover these connections.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we are going to have artificial nutrition, artificial relationships, and lots of mental problems. Disconnections.
Yeah. Well, I think like with these change, like everybody is doing like home office, and this is my opinion in particular. A lot of companies will review this concept, and I would say more people will start to work at home now. They will do home office, and this means not more time with family, but I would say that commute time you don't have anymore.
You can use.
Yeah, so you will have time to eat proper food because you are at home, so you can cook for yourself. Like for those one who like microwave, you can prepare a healthy meal, put in the microwave, and you can eat properly. Now instead in the office, you got the first chocolate
Sandwich.
bar or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you think this gonna help us to understand and balance this?
I think it's a nice way of using your time. When this pandemic started, the first thing I did was a course of the smart use of the time, because I said, wow, now I have more time, but how am I going to use it?
Yeah.
It was very positive in my life. I think it's, again, a reflection about what are you going to do with more time? Because for some people, they are going to have instead 1 or 2 hours in the internet, looking at social media, they're using 3 or 4. You mean?
Yeah.
You see, they are not going to use it in a smart way. For others, they are using to cook, to stay with family, or to pay attention in their relationships that were not very, very well cared. It depends on everyone. I think the opportunity is for everyone. If I ask you, for example, how many minutes do you have in your hour? You're going to say 6, of course. And I'm talking about useful time. And maybe the answer is 0, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, depends on the hour. Do you understand me?
Mm-hmm.
Then you have to think about this as an opportunity to reflect about our life. Again, it's not possible to go outside because we need to go inside and reflect about what we want, what we are doing here, what are our objectives in life. If you want, you can use this time, this extra time that you are not commuting anymore, to do very good things, or just to keep the same, or even worse your life.
Yeah.
It's choice. Again, it's choice. Like epigenetics shows us that it's our choice. The power is in our hands. How you're going to eat, how you're going to sleep, how you're going to develop your spirituality, how you're going to develop your relationships depends on you. You need discipline. You need to think about lots of things. It's not an easy job. I'm not saying that it's easy. I'm not saying that I'm doing this 100%. I'm just telling you that we need to try according to what we need in life or what we want in life. Do you understand me? For me, it's more important to cook a healthy food with my family and spending money with good food, organic food, than buying maybe the last model of the iPhone, for example. But it's a matter of preference or choice. Do you understand me?
Mm-hmm.
And I think we need to think about this. Unfortunately, it's something that I cannot do for anyone. It's individual work. Each family or each individual needs to go in this direction. But I'm sure that is a very, very positive and very wealth way. It's worth.
Yeah, people are saying I'm very busy, but how much of this time is a quality time? Quality time, it's not just free time. No, quality time is, okay, I can do my work in a quality time means, okay, you are focused on your work and you do your job, and then you have time to do more things. People start to get crowded of a lot of things and they don't know what they do.
Yes.
And our delayed. And the point I'm saying is, years ago we had the World War II, in which we didn't have food, so people were dying for starvation, bad nutrition. Okay, now we are, luckily we are not in a World War Third, the Third World War, but we are at home. At home, people are dying as the same pace and we have like in a war, more or less. But we do have food because the supermarkets didn't stop. You know, and I was amazed when I saw, like for us here in the UK and in Ireland, we have a store called Pennies, and when the Pennies open the doors, they have a huge crowd over there. So did we learn the lesson? I'm not saying you need to go to the store, but I'm saying, why this number of people doing a huge queue for blocks, like 5, 6 blocks queue in front of a store, just because you didn't buy any clothes for the last 2 or 3 months?
I think it reflects how real our society is, because we are still very material. We cannot stay with ourselves for so long. And I need I think now we need to reflect, because the battle or the war now is with ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We are not in a war with the enemy. The enemy is ourselves. We need to think about that. We need to identify what is not very well inside of me, that is not coping with all this process. Why I'm acting like that, what I need to change, what I'm doing here, what I'm suffering, or what I'm facing for why, for what, why, for what, and how I can change this. This is the three questions I'll always ask to my clients as well. When they come with the disease and say, okay, now we have the disease, but the disease is a master, it's not an enemy. It comes with a message. Let's try to identify why, for what, and how we can change this panorama. Because we need to think about of us, we need to reflect on us. Just self-discovery, self-knowledge is the pathway for a good lifestyle. Because without this, we cannot transform, we cannot live a different life. And if you do not change, we are going to commit the same mistake. It
is. And at the same time, how we want to be remembered by our children during this time. Let's say my daughters are telling to my grandsons and granddaughters, oh, grandpa was crazy, doing a lot of things, but we are the example. We needed to be balanced, like how I remember him doing the prayer. We at least once a week we used to do the gospel at home, everybody together. We are praying before each. We start to do the prayer. We used to eat health foods. I remember then that had time he was working, but at the same time we enjoy ourselves. So it's time to pleasure, time for work, time for stay together, time for study, time for Google Internet. Like do with your iPhone or smartphone, whatever phone you have. So you have time to do this. So it's a lesson we need to learn, and we need to work ourselves.
Yes, I totally agree. And again, we're just going to change the society when you change the way we are treating families. We need to recover this connection with family. We need to recover these relationships, the positive learnings. Parents should more than ever assume that this is very, very important, an essential role of educating, really educating. It's not just raising up, it's not just feed them or buying things they need for school or play or toys or everything. No, it's more than that. It's educating, it's living important values. We are talking about values that we are missing in our society. So this is the role of parents.
Not the school, because we have a lot of problems. A lot of people saying, "Oh, we're gonna do with my kids all day at home." So, well, hello, it's your son, it's your daughter. So,
yes, it's your mission.
It's your mission,
and transform this spirit much better, to leave the earth much better than when he or she arrived here. It's the father or mother mission to transform this, because we can lose all this opportunity of a reincarnation when you do not transfer this knowledge, these messages, the positive values. We can miss the opportunity of this.
And at the same time, like we are talking about planetary transition, so we are going to the regenerated world, but I'm not sure, but I'm likely I won't be there in this physical existence, but my daughters will have a
Yes.
good chance to be there. So how I am preparing them to live in a regenerated world.
And it's very funny because if you don't believe in these reincarnation opportunities, just go to science. The epigenetics tell us that the food you're eating, the emotional experiences you're having now, can affect your grandchildren
Yeah.
through just genetics and biology and just science. Then it's more than time to reflect and change our behavior and everything.
And see how food was important along in our history. For example, the food make the people not traveling around to get food. When they have fired, when they discovered the fire, they were able to cook the food. They didn't need to have enough tooths in their mouth. So everything is related to food. Like when they discover
The way we evolve it depends
exactly, everything is surrounded by food. Like we had this, we don't have that. So
it's our fuel. It's the nutrients are our fuel.
Yeah.
To perform so well, to perform our machine, that is our body, we need a proper fuel.
Yeah.
And it's funny because people, when they have a good car, they take care a lot of the car. They don't put every kind of fuel. They choose the best one to take care of the material things and why they feed their body with everything.
Even a pet, when you have a pet,
Yes.
you buy your pet sometimes eats
Special.
better than you.
Yes. Yeah. We are eating, Stefan, food that the bacteria don't go for that. If you put like this a fast food sandwich, or if you put a margarine in a table and leave there for 3 months, 4 months, it's not going to change. Nothing is going to happen. Do you know why? Because bacteria has intuition as a living being. It has intuition. It doesn't go for food that doesn't have vitality or nutrients. And why? The human being that is considered the evolved one in the creation goes for this kind of food. It's curious, huh?
Yeah, it is. Okay, my dear, it's our time.
Okay. Thank you very much for the invitation. It was a pleasure to talk to you.
Yeah, if you want to give your, I don't know, email, Instagram, if someone wants to contact you to learn more about this, so
Maybe
please feel free.
Okay, I will leave both. Through Instagram, you can go at dr.mariapaula.goncalves, as it's in here. And email is info, like information, info@myreconnection.co.uk. Then Instagram is dr, like doctor, Maria Paula Goncalves, and email is info@myreconnection.co.uk. Thank you very much.
Okay, once again, thank you, Maria Paula. It was wonderful to learn a little bit more how to balance and how it is important to balance our nutrition, which is not a food itself. It's more than that. It becomes with our thoughts, with our well-being, our spirit, and going through stages until we reach our plate.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to talk about food for body, mind, and emotions always. Thank you very much, everyone.
Okay, I'm sorry. So the email, I just put it here on the box, is info at
myreconnection.
myreconnection.
.co.uk. Yes, and the Instagram is at.
One second, Maria Paula. Email. Okay, and now the Instagram is at
dr.
Maria
Paula
with S.
Yes, with S. Dr. Maria Paula.
Okay, great. So it's in the comments, so nobody will miss that. It's there.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so I will do the final prayer. So once again, I would like to say thank you for our mentors who enlightened us during this talk. Thank you for the mentors of the Society of Ireland, Cardiac Radio, Blossom Spiritist Society in the UK. Thanks so much for the opportunity. Thanks so much to help us to spread these wonderful teachings. May this prayer reach our families. May this prayer reach everyone who are sick. May this prayer reach the food we are eating. May this prayer reach for those who do not have access to food. May this prayer reach our spiritual friends who are desperate once they find they are in a different situation. So be it. Amen. Okay, thank you very much, Maria Paula. So thank you all. Unfortunately, I needed to close the bridge with the USA. So thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much, everybody. I'll see you next Tuesday at 7:15 p.m. Irish time. I think it is 2:15 p.m. Eastern time and 11:15 a.m. Pacific time. Okay, so thank you very much, guys. I'll see you next Thursday. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.